All right, everybody, welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going to be taking a look at something that I think a lot of you listeners are going to find really interesting, especially if you're into the latest technology in construction, which is, well, drones, and more specifically, how they're changing the game when it comes to something called building information modeling, or BIM for short. Now, I know BIM can sound kind of technical, but basically, it's all about having this digital twin of your construction project, like a super detailed 3D model that everyone involved can access. And that means architects, engineers, contractors, they can all be on the same page, literally, about what's getting built where and when. And to help us unpack all of this, we've got an expert joining us today who eats, sleeps, and breathes drones and BIM. You sent over this article called The Future of Drones in Building Information Modeling. And I got to say, you're really onto something here. It seems like these two technologies, they were practically like made for each other, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. I mean, it's not just a nice to have anymore. We're talking about a complete game changer for the industry.
Yeah, and you know what really caught my eye? This whole idea of drones giving us these real-time updates for these BIM models. I mean, I can imagine it's got to be amazing to see those 3D models practically building themselves. But how does it actually work in the real world?
So picture this.
Hmm.
You've got a drone, right? And it's equipped with all the bells and whistles, high-resolution cameras, LiDAR sensors, the works. And what it's doing is it's flying over the construction site and it's capturing every little detail. We're talking about a level of accuracy that you just couldn't even dream of getting with traditional surveying methods.
So it's more than just like taking a few aerial photos.
Oh, way more.
Hmm.
We're talking about creating these incredibly detailed 3D point clouds.
Hmm.
I mean, every beam, every pipe, every single inch of that construction site is mapped out digitally. And here's where it gets really cool. This data, it's not just sitting on someone's hard drive. It's being fed directly into the BIM software.
Okay, I see where you're going with this.
So instead of architects and engineers working off of, static plans, they're looking at a live, breathing model of that construction project. It's constantly being updated with that drone data.
That means no more nasty surprises when they show up on site and things don't match the plans, right?
Exactly. And we're not just talking about avoiding a few headaches. Think about the cost savings here. Imagine catching a clash between structural elements in the BIM model because the drone data picked up on a discrepancy.
Oh yeah, that's got to be saving millions of dollars in rework.
Millions. And not to mention all the time saved, because now you're not having to go back and redo things that should have been caught earlier.
It all sounds amazing. But I did notice that the article mentioned a few challenges in actually implementing all of this. Like, how do we even begin to deal with all of the data that these drones are collecting?
Yeah, that's the big one, right? We're talking about massive amounts of data, and processing it efficiently, well, it requires some serious computing power. And of course, there's the whole regulatory side of things, making sure that the drones are being operated safely and within the law.
Right, because those regulations are changing all the time.
Exactly. It's a constantly evolving landscape. And we can't forget about privacy concerns either. Got to make sure we're being responsible with all of that data we're collecting.
Makes sense. But despite those challenges, it seems like the potential here is just too big to ignore. So what does the future hold for drone BIM integration? Any predictions?
Oh, just you wait. We're talking about AI-powered drones that can do more than just collect data. They'll analyze it too. Imagine a drone that can autonomously inspect a bridge, spot a tiny crack that no human inspector would ever catch, and then generate a report with repair recommendations.
Wow, are we living in the future or what?
We are, and it gets even cooler. Imagine drones that can actually help with the construction itself. We're already seeing prototypes of drones that can lay bricks or even weld with incredible precision.
That's mind-blowing. So to wrap things up here, what's the one big takeaway you want our listeners to walk away with today?
It's simple. The integration of drones and BIM is revolutionizing construction as we know it. Increased efficiency, reduced costs, improved safety. It's a win-win-win. And for anyone out there who's involved in the world of construction, this isn't something you can afford to ignore.
This has been an eye-opening look into the future of construction. A huge thank you to you for joining us today and sharing your expertise. And to all of our listeners, if you're as excited about the possibilities of drones and BIM as we are, be sure to check out Aerial Decisions. They're the real deal when it comes to providing cutting-edge drone data collection and reality capture software solutions for the commercial construction industry. That includes everything from 3D modeling to comprehensive inspection services. So until next time, keep your eyes on the skies because the future of construction is, well, taking off. This deep dive was brought to you by Aerial Decisions.